that there is no amount of money that you can give a human being where they won't Heil Hitler for kicks.
All right, so it looks like some of Joe Rogan's closest comedy friends have been trashing Elon Musk, which I'm sure is making Joe really uncomfortable because obviously he's like one of the biggest Elon simps out there, and now a big part of his podcast is him just doing damage control and PR for Elon. But, you know, even with all the glazing and ass-kissing Joe does, it's still not enough for Elon, and I'm sure he gets annoyed that Joe doesn't tell his friends to stop making fun of him. Like, Joe's got to be nervous about his comedy friend.
Elon does seem like one of those guys, right? Where he would like send Rogan a clip of Tim Dillon mocking him and be like, why can't you talk to him? He needs to stop. This is unfounded. Oh, this is great. This is a welcome turn, y'all. This is a welcome turn. Because you have to say, all of Rogan's right-leaning comedian buddies, they did go down the rabbit hole with him, flirting with Trumpism, if not outright supporting Trumpism, right? And so they were gone, bro. They were gone mentally. They totally hitched their wagon to this guy who I just think they like the vibes and they think Trump is entertaining and they don't give a fuck about the policy. But seemingly, for the same reason they like Trump, the vibes, I think that's the same reason they don't like Elon. Because his vibes are fucking horrendous. I mean, truly the most deeply unlikable man on the planet.
It's going too hard on him and upsetting him and ruining their friendship because I'm sure Joe knows Elon is really sensitive. I mean, recently the guy almost started crying because people were trolling him while he's playing video games. And then he needed all his Sims to tweet about it and help him get sympathy by acting like he just got horrifically bullied while playing video games. It's so funny. And also at the end of last year, Elon, he started begging people to post more positive content on Twitter because he couldn't handle how much he's getting made fun of. But obviously that didn't work. So
for everybody listening, podcast style, it says, this is a tweet from Elon Musk. From December, I am constantly getting insulted on this platform. Bro, you're the richest man in the world. How about you go to Shut the Fuck Upsville?
A week later, he changed the algorithm to promote more positive content, even though I don't think that really worked either. But Joe obviously knows Elon doesn't handle getting made fun of very well. I mean, Joe was just on Kill Tony, and they had on Kyle Dunnigan, who was impersonating Elon, and Joe looked like he was thinking, man, I hope Elon doesn't get offended by this, because I'm sure Elon's already constantly coping over Tim Dillon making fun of him. I mean, Tim's been trashing him like crazy, which Joe has to be stressed about.
Look, the thing about Elon is he's literally the world's richest man. He's illegally hacking into our government and stealing everybody's data and destroying every good thing our government does, right? Destroying the Social Security program. He destroyed the CFPB, which is the anti-scam police, which means he's siding with the scammers over the American people. And he also wants to live on Mars and put a chip in everybody's brain. This is like, you know, if you took away all the fucking PR and the marketing that Elon does for himself and the fanboys, this would look like a prime Alex Jones conspiracy thing where he points out how this guy wants to take over the world and he's the most evil man on the fucking planet. He's like a literal villain, like a villain from a superhero movie, right? And I think that's the vibe Tim Dillon gets, because Tim Dillon, he definitely leans right, and he was a fan of Alex Jones, and you get the sense that he thinks like, wait a second, prime Alex Jones shouldn't be sucking this guy's nuts. Prime Alex Jones would be fucking shredding this guy on a daily basis.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Elon complains about this to Joe, because obviously he gets offended very easily, and Tim has just been roasting the shit out of him. So since Joe's good friends with Tim and has him on the podcast all the time, I'm sure Elon has tried to get Joe to tell Tim to stop making fun of him.
Legalize comedy. Yeah.
What kind of truck would Blade Runner drive? That was the design idea.
I mean, this is the problem with these people. What kind of truck would Blade Runner drive? I mean, we're just handing the whole entire world over to like fucking nerds and freaks. First of all, the Cybertruck's disgusting. We can all kind of admit that. It's a heinous...
Yes, it is. Thank you, Tim Dillon. Tim Dillon has to do a lot in my mind to make up for, giving JD Vance a hot stone massage on his podcast. He does. He's got a lot to do to make up for snuggling up to Trump, like Trump isn't a fucking robber baron fascist who's hell-bent on destroying this country. But this is a start. This is a start for Tim.
They explode. They go into trees and they explode and stuff. They're not good. They don't look dignified or classy on the road. I don't know who that appeals to. Now, I understand there's man-children out there that want to fly rockets to Mars because they can't fly their penis into a vagina. But I'm telling you right now, this is the grossest and cringiest shit anyone has ever seen in a very long time. And also, he's a guy that believes that we have to go to Mars and merge with AI and no longer be humans. And no one seems to question that. I don't think populism, as has been described, includes merging with machines and going to Mars. This isn't a movie where the movie ends with Elon putting you on his spaceship and going to Mars. You're not going to Mars. I'm sorry about that. These people are also the elites, which if people talk about the elites, and I talk about it myself because the elites are completely out of touch, but these elites are also out of touch. It's also out of touch to think that the biggest issue is let's go to Mars. Go talk to a working family that can't put food on the table. See how many times they mention Mars. I don't know why it's happening. And I disagree with close friends of mine who think Elon Musk is, the savior of, this is Jesus. If Jesus came back, he'd be Elon Musk. He'd come through South Africa and design cars that don't need gas and buy X. The guy's a billionaire who wants to go to Mars, and normal people are going, what the fuck is this? I can't get a knee operation.
God damn it. He's so talented, man. I want to... Tim Dillon, I wish he'd go full lefty. I wish he'd come home full left. Because he's so fucking talented, Jesus.
Joe have completely different opinions on Elon, and Tim might have been referring to Joe at the end there, but it's just hilarious because Joe spends so much time defending Elon and praising him as much as he possibly can to make him happy, so he keeps coming on the podcast and hanging out with him. But now Rogan's comedy friends might start to ruin that for him because they're kind of negating all the positive PR Joe does for him.
They're not ruining it for Joe. They're trying to save Joe when it comes to Elon. Now, unfortunately, they all fucking jumped the shark and shit the bed when it came to Trump. But for Rogan to snuggle up to Elon, like, Rogan doesn't get it, bro. Now normal people look at you, you are more like the new Rush Limbaugh or Sean Hannity than you are like Bill Hicks or George Carlin, right? Bill Hicks and George Carlin, they were political, they were super intelligent, they were edgy, but they were anti-establishment, anti-system, anti-elite, and for the people. Rogan cuddled up to a robber baron fascist and acts like that's anti-elite and anti-establishment when it's not, right? So any prying away from Elon and Trump that his comedian buddies can do is saving Joe Rogan in the long run. Because I got news for you. He's already washed, dog. Like, now maybe he's not fully there, but like, he's getting there. He was dethroned as the #1 podcast by the Midas Touch guys, and the Midas Touch guys are just simply an anti-Trump podcast.
And I'm sure Elon's pissed about it. And this is also kind of exposing how Joe will do anything to defend him. It doesn't matter how delusional it makes him look. I mean, like with the salute Elon did at Trump's inauguration, seeing how Rogan reacted to that compared to how all his comedy friends reacted, it shows how far gone he is. Because most of Rogan's comedian friends seem to think Elon did a Nazi salute, or at least looked just like one. And it sounds like Elon's response to the controversy made them believe that theory even more, because he acted like it was completely ridiculous to think it looked like one. So some of Rogan's comedy friends are like, he's just trying to gaslight us here, this is crazy. And Elon also never even denied doing it. He's just like, again, with the Nazi stuff. But of course, you know who did deny it for him? Joe Rogan. Of course, he'll jump at any opportunity to defend Elon and embarrass himself. And it's funny, he said people only believe it was a Nazi salute because it fits their narrative, but it sounds like most of his friends believe that, and it kind of goes against their narrative. I mean, Shane Gillis, his reaction was like, I know I'm supposed to defend that, but that's a tough one. And it seems like most of Rogan's comedian friends mocked Elon for it, and they thought his response to it was also really bad. So I give him credit here for having their own opinions and not just going along with what they know Rogan would want them to say, because this also just shows how Rogan will shamelessly defend anything Elon does, even if it makes him look completely ridiculous.
But all these people on Twitter are just chiming in saying it's clearly a Nazi salute. He's doing a Nazi salute. Yeah. No.
So dumb. Oh, look at the guest. Look at the guest. The guest just cucking himself. Jesus Christ.
He's doing a Nazi salute. Yeah. No.
So dumb. What am I going to do with these people?
All this gesture means is Heil Hitler. This is all this gesture means.
It's so dumb.
It's not clearly.
Yeah, it's the whole thing's crazy. But that's a sign of the times, and they couldn't help it. They saw a thing, and they're like, "This is we're gonna run with it."
Rogan really rented his mind out to Elon and Trump. He really did. I mean, we got to call it what it is. That's what he did.
Fucking yeah, that was crazy though. That's not that much. That's not
at
an inauguration.
That's a political rally. And then being like, "Oh my God, enough with the Nazi stuff, dude." It's like that was wild.
That was a close one.
Fascism is real, folks. Here it is. My heart goes out to you.
My love goes out to you. I'm sorry, I'm autistic. I'm autistic. I didn't know what this is.
My heart goes out to you.
Rogan is so cucked. You know what else it is too, guys? He really, like, I'm sure he really does. He's mentioned this on his show a few times. Like, oh, I was texting with Don Jr. or I was texting with Elon. He might even be, I think he said he talked to Trump on the phone after he won or something like that. Like, now it's just he's defending them like they're in the friend group. right? Like they go, hey, they could be in the comment